Good morning, Vision. Greetings from Arkansas. I am Christy Rickert Peterson. I used to have Mark's job many, many moons ago. I was the music director. And I am happy, due to the miracles of modern technology, to be able to be with you today to introduce your marvelously talented celebration singers. Have a beautiful service. Sending much love.
Light of the world, light of the world, I am called to be the light of the world. Light of the world, light of the world, I am called to be the light of the world. What will my answer be to the Spirit's call? Yes. What will my answer be? Will I give my all? Light of the world, light of the world, I am called to be the light of the world. Light of the world, light of the world, I am called to be the light of the world. What will my answer be to the Spirit's call? Yes. What will my answer be? Will I give my all? Light of the world, light of the world, I am called to be the light of the world. Light of the world, light of the world, I am called to be the light of the world. The light of the world, the light of the world. This is the day that God has made. I will rejoice. This is the time to celebrate. Lift up every voice. Enter this moment as God's own heart. Standing with joy in the truth of who we are. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. This is the day that God has made. I will rejoice. This is the time to celebrate. Lift up every voice. Enter this moment as God's own heart. Standing with joy in the truth of who we are. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There's only one life. That life is God's life.
Good morning and welcome to Vision Sunday Celebration. I'm so glad that you tuned in this morning. We really do need to get together to know the truth for ourselves, for each other. So let's go to prayer. I give great thanks for this day, for everything in it, for God's life expressing through each one of us, because that's what it is. It is God's life. There is only one life. That life is God. That life is God's life, God's qualities expressing through each one of us. We know this is the truth for us, and we know it is the truth for all life everywhere. And we come together in spiritual community to remember who we are, to remember whose we are. We are spirits. We are the outpicturing of the divine life. We are the beloved, made manifest in flesh. We know and accept that there is only one life. It is God's life. It is our life, right here, right now, and it is all good. And so it is. Good morning. I'm so glad we're here. I'm so glad that we come together in times like these to just uplift each other, to hold each other, to know the truth for each other. We are Vision. We are a center for spiritual living. And we know what Ernest Holmes taught his whole entire ministry, that there is a power and presence in the universe, that it is greater than we are, and we can use it. And I would add to that, and it can use us. That we are the instruments of peace on the earth. We are the instruments of love, of joy. We are the place where unity shows up in the world. So I just invite you into that energy. So glad that you are here today. I want you to know that we have practitioners always to be reached by phone or by email. You can go to our website, visioncsl.org, and you can find the practitioner page. It has a list of all of our practitioners and phone numbers. If you are desiring prayer, if there's something on your heart, and let's face it, there is right now, please call a practitioner and get prayer. Go to the website. Also, there is a prayer request form you can fill out, and that goes through the internet, goes through our website, and you can have a practitioner email you back with a prayer. You can call us and get prayer on the phone. There is absolutely all different ways that we are here to serve you in prayer. Our practitioners know the truth for themselves, for us, every day. So please don't go without getting prayer support. What else can I tell you? Oh, we have guest packets. Of course, when our doors open up again, you'll be able to see them. You know what they look like. You remember, we haven't changed them. Here they are. We have lovely guest packets for you. I know for you at home, you know what's inside them. For our guests who may be just tuning in for the first time, this is what it looks like. You'll be able to get one when the doors open and you come in the flesh. But there is a wonderful welcome on the front of this guest packet, and we say it every week to remind ourselves, and we also say it for our guests. So we're going to say it right here, right now, all of us together, out loud, from home. I want to hear it. You ready? You with me? Good. Whoever you are and wherever you are right now, you are welcome here. You are safe and you are loved. And we absolutely mean that. This is a safe space. This is a place for all of us to come to be honored for who we are, spirit in form. And so when the doors open, I look forward to meeting you. I look forward to reuniting with you again. And just know that from my heart to yours, there is no separation. There is only one. It is God. Right in our hearts, we are absolutely united, as always. And so now I'm going to turn this over to our celebration singers, who are going to be singing our centering song to prepare us for meditation. Thank you.
God is breathing me. God is beating my heart. God is breathing me. God is breathing me.
Good morning. My name is J.P. Scheidemann. I'm one of the licensed spiritual counselors here at Vision, and this is our time for meditation. I invite you to get comfortable. I will read 2 quotes in about 5 minutes, and then the bowl will ring, and I will continue with affirmative prayer. The quotes today, the first one was from Oprah Winfrey, and then I'll follow with one from our founder, Ernest Holmes. So just taking this moment to go within, the center. Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. A human's mind should swing from inspiration to action, from contemplation to accomplishment, from prayer to performance. remaining in the silence, in the eternal peace which is spirit. This morning, the memorial candle is burning for those that have passed. This morning it is burning for Gary Russell, brother-in-law of Vision member Earl Jackson. The candle is also burning for Richard Noland, a longtime congregant of Vision. And it is also burning this morning for George Floyd of Minnesota, who lost his life this past week. And recognizing the eternal, the infinite, the power of God, ever present, the truth of this experience of life, that there is nothing separate from that one life of God, that everything is encompassed within that life. Each and every person and being on this planet are expressions of that one life of God. And one thing that is certain is that change and transformation is ongoing. Except for these three men, that they are divinely guided and supported and expressions of that life of God doing God's work. And that everything is unfolding according to the divine plan of Spirit. I accept that in this world, even though it may seem chaotic and without reason, that behind it all is the life of Spirit, and that God wants good for all of us in this life, and that sometimes things need to be torn down in order to be rebuilt. And I accept that there is a great future. There is a magnificent life right now, and it is expressing into even greater life. Knowing this power and presence of God here this day, I accept that for all Vision members, anyone watching this service now or in the future, that they are expressions of God's life on this great adventure of life. Each one supported and provided for. And I know that it is all perfect. And that Spirit, the all-powerful, limitless, magnificent God, is in charge. There is divine guidance. There is purpose and fulfillment and grace. So Spirit, this day I know and accept that these blessings are endless. And we accept greater and greater blessings, health and wholeness for each and every one. That everything is working out just as it needs to in this world. There is truly nothing separate from God. Even COVID-19, the virus, is God's expression, doing some work that may not be understood, but there is a divine plan, and out of it becomes a greater depth, understanding, wisdom, way of being, intelligence. And I accept that, Spirit, this day for mankind, that we are lifted up into a greater way of being, a greater knowing, a greater wisdom and intelligence. And I join with Science of Mind and New Thought people around the world as we place that consciousness of creating a world that works for everyone. So, Spirit, I am grateful for this time, for this service, for this community, as we are able to continue to come together, whatever that looks like, and hold visions of the truth. And I accept that it is done with a grateful heart for this process, for this awakening. I release my word, this prayer, into law, and know it is so, and so it is. Amen.
Good morning, Vision CSL family. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ray Davis, and I am thrilled to be with you this morning to bring you a little bit of high vibe music. Oh, yes. And the song I'm going to start with is a song of meditation. This is a meditation song. This is called Morning Song. Here's a song for the morning, rise and breathe in the feeling of nothing but blue skies, fresh and clear, nothing to fear in this bright field of love and possibilities. Here is tailored time for sitting silent, still breathing in the moment, this moment before the clang cacophony of where to be descends on me. I sit, I breathe, I remember. Here's a song for the morning, rise and breathe in the feeling of nothing but blue skies, fresh and clear, nothing to fear in this bright field of love and possibilities. Here is where I'll be what simply can't be done, simply being wholly in the moment, this moment. And though my mind may interrupt with thoughts both pious and corrupt, for a time it may hold sway, still I sit, I listen, and remember. Here's a song for the morning rise. I rise up and I greet the day, only good is coming my way. It's all love and possibilities, no need to beg and plead from down on my knees. I've got peace over here, I've got joy over there, I've got talent in my toes and abundance in my hair. All of life is here for me, and I have decided to believe it and receive it and remember. Oh, remember. Here's a song for the morning, rise and breathe in the feeling of nothing but blue skies, fresh and clear, nothing to fear in this bright field, a field of love and possibilities. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Good morning. We're finishing up this month's theme of listen to your heart. Yeah, five Sundays we've been talking about that. It's May had 500 days in it. It seems like it went on for a long time. But today's talk is passion and action. So we talked all month about listening to that still small voice, paying attention to that highest self that is whispering to us always, being open and receptive to our intuition, and in integrating it with our mind in our gut feelings, right? And moving in the same direction, right? Mind and heart and feet all pointed in the same direction, so that if there is something for us to do as a result of the information that we are downloaded, right, from Spirit, that we are walking in the right direction. So there is always an action step. There's always an action step to take after meditation, after prayer. There is a move your feet part, like Ernest Holmes said, right? Always is there an action step. So Thomas Edison said this. He said, "Vision without execution is hallucination." Okay? And here's another quote about that, moving your feet. "Vision without action is a daydream. Action without vision is a nightmare." And that has been attributed to Soichiro Honda. And from Nelson Mandela, "Vision without action is a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. And vision with action can change the world." And if anybody knows that, Nelson Mandela does, right? Vision paired with action can change the world. And that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about passion, our vision of what's possible, united with action, can change the world. Now, can it change the whole world? Can my action based on my vision change the whole world? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not, like Nelson Mandela did. I don't know. But I know definitely it can change my world. It can change my corner of it. When I am passionately inspired to move forward into action, it can absolutely change my little corner of the world. When our passion, guided by our intellect, is fueling our action, we most definitely can change the world. Inspired action is a powerful thing. And there are many, many examples we have in the world of action, positive action, fueled by passion, changing things in the world of conditions, right? We know the story of Candy Lightner, who founded Mothers Against Drunk Driving after a drunk driver killed her daughter, right? That is positive, passionate action as a result of tragedy. Donna Norris helped establish the National Amber Alert program after her daughter disappeared in 1996. John Walsh is a perfect example. John Walsh, who came to found the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And in 1988, after his son Adam was kidnapped and killed, right? And then he went on, of course, to the famous television program we all know, America's Most Wanted, which led to a multitude of arrests and convictions. There are many, many stories like that where passion and action resulted out of tragedy. In 2004, Anthony Suthan was living in a village on the east coast of his native homeland of Sri Lanka. And then, of course, we know December 26th, 2004, the tsunami struck. And he saw it coming. And he went to the top of the highest concrete building he could find, and he hung on. And he waited it out. And he lost all of his possessions, but he managed to grab a canoe to go out in search of survivors. And he wound up saving 5 people that day. And here's what he said. He said, "That was my turning point. I lost all of my belongings that day. I lost all of my loved ones. But I developed a sense of responsibility to my people." He went on to become an interpreter for his country and do wonderful things in his villages. And he was given a Peace Award from the Rotary. He went on to do great things and continues to. And what I want to say is not all passion is born out of tragedy, but these are examples of people who transformed tragedy into passion to create something beneficial. Ernest Holmes in Richer Living said this. He said, all our work should be built upon the supposition that good overcomes evil, not by combating it, but by transforming it. The non-combativeness of spirit is the principle back of the law of non-resistance, which Jesus so plainly taught. The spirit has no opposites. It is always joyous. It is always perfect. It is always free. There is no difference in the essence between our spirit and the spirit. The spirit in the human is the Spirit of God in man. The two are one. That's how he finishes that. The two are one. We know this to be true. The highest and the best within me is spirit and form. Whitman said it, that seed of perfection that nestles within us, that is spirit. It is true of all of us. Not some of us, but all of us. We have to remember that we are one. Core concept number one, we are one. God is all there is. The same spirit that animates me, animates you, and animates everyone, everything. The people that promote this us and them divisiveness have forgotten who they are. The people who believe that some lives are not as valuable have forgotten who they are. People who think this does not involve them have forgotten who they are. There is only one life. It is God's life. It is God incarnated as all of us. And yet, another unarmed African American man was murdered at the hands of the police. And I am so done with this. I can't even count how many times I came up here and I stood here and I had to say that. Since 2007, it's been a number. And I cannot even imagine how people of color feel. I cannot even imagine it. I cannot even imagine the depth of anguish. And now that anguish and that anger and that frustration is bubbling over. And there are protests in major cities around the country. And I absolutely understand that level of frustration. I can absolutely empathize with that level of frustration. You know, Martin Luther King was interviewed in 1967, and he said this. He said, I think America must see that riots do not develop out of thin air. Certain conditions continue to exist in our society which must be condemned as vigorously as we condemn riots. But in the final analysis, the riot is the language of the unheard. The riot is the language of the unheard. We cannot let this moment pass into history, having nothing change. The anguish that we feel right now has to be channeled into passionate, purposeful, creative, transcendent change. The anger and the frustration at the loss of another human life. George Floyd, say his name, George Floyd. His name's been added to a list, a growing list of African Americans killed in this country. Rioting is counterproductive. Yeah, I get it. I understand it. It is counterproductive, you know? But it is a result of the mounting body count and the feeling that nothing is changing. The anger and the protesting, I also know, is part of the pathway of healing. It's like the vent on the pressure cooker, right? That energy must be expressed, but it cannot end there. It cannot end there. We must become part of the change. We must move toward the future we desire, toward the future we know this country is capable of achieving. You know, Romans 12:21 said, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. That's our job. That's our job as religious scientists. Overcome evil with good. Right? I don't want to see this anymore. I don't want to stand up at this lectern and say this anymore. I want this to be the turning point. Right? I want us to go back to principle. God is life. God is love. God is joy. God is unity. There is only one life. It is God. It is whole and perfect and complete. It is the life of each and every one of us. And we must honor that. Or we, as religious scientists, have forgotten who we are. We have to honor and respect all life is some part of the life of God. You know, I was texting last night to one of our vision practitioners, Lawrence Bond. He's a practitioner emeritus, Lawrence Bond, and he texted this to me, and I asked him if I could quote him, and he said yes. He said, "We have reached a tipping point. Things must change if we as people want to survive. We're one race, the human race. We're all cut from the same cloth. There is no separation. We are created by the same God. This tragedy has given us a wake-up call. We need to love one another regardless of our differences. We may not get another chance." And I agree with Lawrence. You know Lawrence. He's the guy who makes the phone calls when he's one of the practitioners who makes those return phone calls when you submit a prayer request and you ask for prayer. Sometimes you get Lawrence. Yeah, you just don't ever forget being prayed with Lawrence Bond. He's an amazing gentleman. And he's right. We may not get another chance. I absolutely agree with him. We are the people. This is the time. We have to move our feet. We have to move our feet. We have done praying. We've done thoughts and prayers. We have witnessed atrocities. We have absolutely witnessed the horror of a man's life being taken live in front of cameras without so much as a thought. Now is the time. Ernest Holmes said this in Can We Talk to God? He said, "A religious scientist is a practical idealist, but not a dreamer. Thought swings from contemplation into action, from prayer into performance. For while there is the innermost resources of our soul, a place which dwells in eternal stillness and inaction, there is also a place at the circumference of our being which, animated by this inner principle, goes forth to accomplish." That's what we must do. We've prayed. We've meditated. It is time to act. We must move our feet towards something and against nothing. I get it. Are the riots productive? No, I get it. They're counterproductive and they are destructive. They are passionate action in destruction. And we need to be passionate action in construction. We need to be for something and against nothing. Like Ernest Holmes said, we need to face forward and be what we are for. Not fighting against things, but overcoming evil with good, like it says. We must stand up and be allies, total allies to our fellow human beings who are being killed in the streets for no reason. It's not a capital offense to be taken into custody. It has to stop. And I'm going to quote, which I never thought I would do, But I'm going to quote the rapper, Killer Mike, who said this yesterday while being interviewed. I am duty bound to be here simply to say that it is your duty not to burn your own house down for anger with an enemy. It is your duty to fortify your own house so that you may be a house of refuge in times of organization. And he's right. He goes on to say, now is the time to plot, to plan, to strategize, to organize, and to mobilize. It's time to beat up prosecutors you don't like in the voting booth. It's time to hold mayoral offices accountable, chiefs and deputy chiefs. That is what he's saying. That's the moving part, the moving your feet part of what I'm talking about. This is where we are pulled by the vision to do what we need to do, to pull the country into the place where it needs to be. We are fueled by the passion and guided by the intellect into positive action. You know, the ideal that we hold in the Pledge of Allegiance, freedom and justice for all. Doesn't say for some, freedom and justice for all. That is the ideal of this country, and it is our job to make it real, to make it real. And I don't want anybody calling me tomorrow and telling me I'm too political, because human rights are not political. Human rights are everybody's business. Everybody deserves to be treated with respect and dignity. Going back to principle, every life is the life of God, out picturing in form. I know the riots are not the correct response. We all know that. But that anger and frustration is vented somewhere. And now it is time to move into the passion and the action, propelling us toward nonviolent solutions. Going back to principle. All life is the life of God. All life is the life of God. We have to remember who we are. We have to remember whose we are. We have to act accordingly. We have to move this country in the direction of the Pledge of Allegiance so that it is no longer an ideal, freedom and justice for all, but it's a fact. It must become a fact. We have to make it reality. You know, I'm going to go back to that quote of Dr. Martin Luther King's when he said earlier that, we're not listening, or can't even remember what it was, but the language of the unheard, that's what it was. The riot is the language of the unheard. It was an interview that he did in 1967, and he went on to say that, what is it that we're failing to hear? What is it we have failed to hear? We have failed to hear the promise of freedom and justice because it has not been met. We have failed to hear large segments of white society more concerned with tranquility and status quo than justice, equality, and humanity. And so in a real sense, he finished up by saying, in a real sense, our nation's summers of riots are caused by our nation's winters of delay. And as long as America continues to postpone justice, we stand in the position of having recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. He finished by saying, social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention. That's for us to do. That is for us to do, to make that movement towards something. Not against anything, but toward something, toward social justice, toward progress, toward making the pledge, freedom and justice for all, a reality. That's passion in action, channeled for positive change. And that's ours to do. We pray, we meditate, then we move our feet. I'm an ally. And I know all of us here at Vision are allies. I know this about us because we are religious science, because we are centers for spiritual living, because we are the science of mind and spirit, because we know what we know. The first core concept, God is all there is. Every life is the life of God. No one has the right to take that indiscriminately. No one. And here we stand, united in the truth that there is only one life. It is God's life. It is our life right here and right now. And what are we going to do with this one wild and precious life? We're going to guarantee it for everyone. We're going to guarantee it for all. We're going to know each one of our American brothers and sisters as God in form. And around the globe, every human is God in form. Everyone, we must remember who we are. We must remember whose we are. And that passion and action that we take must be constructive passion and action to guarantee a world that works for everyone. That's what we stand for. That is our vision and mission in the world. A world that works for everyone. And so it is. Thank you.
So good morning again, good morning again, good morning again. This is a song of transformation. It's a song about somebody who thought their life was going one way, but then there was something talking through them and they listen and boom, something more for me than I thought. This is called The Average Man. He always thought he was an average man, average face and average hands, average feet set square on the middle tier. Satisfied with his mild success, as much as any average man could expect, until the day he was beset by his greatest fear. Yeah. It all started with a feeling so intense that time and space stood still in his head. What if I was born for greatness? What if I am really more than I think I am? What if mediocrity was never in the stars for me? And miracles and wonders was the plan for the average man. Yeah, for the average man. He said he'd find the nerve to stretch and reach beyond the bell curve, but never did for fear of drawing back an empty hand. Yeah. Said what's an average man to do? So little time and all these things to think through. Maybe I should just stick to what I understand. But he couldn't shake that feeling, no. A feeling so immense it filled the whole blue sky. He said, what if I was born for greatness? What if I am really more than I think I am? What if mediocrity was never in the stars for me? And miracles and wonders was the plan for the average man. Oh, the average man. Sing na 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 na. Help me sing na 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 na. A little more sing na 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 na. Na 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 na
Wasn't that wonderful? Thank you, Ray Davis. I love that song. I just can't wait to have you back again. Maybe next time in real life. It'd be lovely to have you in the sanctuary again and listen to your music in person. What a delight. What a delight. Now it is time for our conscious circulation. This is the time in which we give back to those people, places, and things and institutions that are doing spiritual work the way we would see it done in the world. And if Vision is that place for you, if you are spiritually nourished and fed here, uplifted here, this is the appropriate place for your donations. And it absolutely is the place to support. We know we are in spiritual alignment. We absolutely know that we are. And so I'm asking for those donations, for those online tithes and support so that Vision continues to do the good work that it does. Yeah, I would say both inside these walls and outside, but mainly outside now because the inside's empty. I am so grateful for your support. Please know that it is valued. It is valued always. Every dollar, every donation, every tithe. And so we are going to prayer here about the abundance of God and how we are uplifted by that quality. So going within, just taking that conscious knowledge of your support, whether you tithe online or you send a check in the mail or your bank sends a check in the mail or however you support this ministry, knowing that your support is just so valued. We are so grateful. We know that God is abundance and we are that. We know we express the abundant nature of God each time we give graciously and we accept gratefully. We stay in that river of God's abundance, knowing it is a quality of God, knowing it is a quality of us, knowing the truth for ourselves. That there is no separation. We are one. We are spirit in action, and money is spirit in action, and we know that there is no separation. So giving great thanks for all the tithes, all the donations, all of the prayers, all of the thoughts of oneness that we hold for this wonderful, dear organization we love. We know we are one, and so it is. Amen. time in our Sunday celebration, we usually have the Miracle Minute, where people in the congregation will stand up and they will share their demonstration of answered prayer in their own lives. And what I've been asking you is to please submit those demonstrations of answered prayer on our website. Go to info. Actually, not even on the website. Go to info at Vision CSL and submit a demonstration of answer prayer so we can share it here. We're still loving our stories, don't we? We're still loving our stories from Vision's community in the demonstrations of answered prayer and how our lives are always changed by prayer because prayer changes things. So please do that. Don't get away from your computer without giving us a demonstration of your answered prayer, what you've experienced this week or last week. And we can say it from the lectern next week. That's the way it goes. Because what we know is prayer changes things. It absolutely does. And now it is time, you know that time, it's time for The Last Word by Johnny Kirko.
Here's Johnny. Hello, everybody. So, a couple things. We're still continuing the Vision virtual meet and greet. Starts right now, as a matter of fact. Not right now, wait till I'm done talking, but right after our celebration's done, we're having our meet and greet. It's a Zoom room put together. You can come and be a part of that. We just kind of discuss and talk, and you can also get prayer. We have practitioners are available in the room right now, and they'll do a one-on-one with you. So check it out. There's a link that our group has put right there on the Facebook page, or you can go to the email that I sent to you yesterday. Has all the information on how to get to there. We're continuing to do the uplifts every single day at 1 o'clock, Monday through Saturday, Pacific time, it's 1 o'clock. And it's just, again, it's that midday upbeat, uplift kind of information. Last week we had Reverend Gene and Reverend Sam. As a matter of fact, we had 3 of our reverends in a row. It was really cool. Thanking all of them. And Reverend Patti, of course, continues to bring her positive energy to us. Thank you for that. Looking forward to a couple more this week. I think we got Reverend Gene again back this week, so check it out at 1 o'clock. We have a class starting up this week. It's actually Cindy Britton started up. It's never too late to begin again. You can go to our website and you can get a link there. It'll tell you exactly how to get to it. It's Cindy Britton has taught this class before. It's available during the day. I think it's on Wednesday mornings. Reverend Gene Phillips has got a class starting a week from tomorrow night, and it's going to be Monday evenings starting at 5 o'clock. Her class is The Art of Uncertainty, so you can sign up for that class as well. Check that out on the website. We've got all kinds of information on both of those classes. Again, I want to thank everybody for their online giving or their giving and their gifts. I see, we're getting checks in the mail. Thank you. We get some through PayPal or Subsplash or whatever you're doing. Thank you for continuing to support us. We love you. We appreciate it. Keep them coming. You can send them to John Kirko, too, if you want. That's K-U-R, never mind. Also, so we're looking for a new core council member. So usually at the end of June, our core council members move off. So we're looking for somebody to fill a seat for us. So if you are a member of Vision and have taken at least foundations class, and you meet a few other requirements, we are interested in talking to you. So email me at info@visioncsl.com. I'd love to chat with you. We've got lots of good stuff happening. Next week, Reverend Patti Paris will be back. Her talk title is Herding Cats. Herding Cats. Did I tell you I got a new kitten? She is cute as all get up. I'm almost close to naming her, too. I'll let you know that next week that'll be like the mystery for you. Andy Anderson and Nathan Fry will be with us. So we're looking forward to having some of the local guys back after this whole month of great music. How about Ray Davis? Wasn't he cool? Ray Davis is magical. What an amazing musician. We had him a few years back. He plays the trumpet, all that good stuff. Ray, we love you. Hope to have you back live here at Vision. I also want to thank Christy Peterson for her intro at the very beginning of our celebration today. Thank you, Christy. Love you in Arkansas. I want to say happy birthday to Marcus today. Happy birthday, Marcus. And I also want to say, we know a lot went on in the last couple days here with the protests. I live in La Mesa, and so we were hit pretty hard yesterday. And I love all the protesters. I love what they're doing. The rioting went a little far. But all of you who live in La Mesa, I love you. No, I live nearby. If you need anything, you call me up. I'll get you. My phone number is available everywhere. I want to chat with you about it. But holding us all in our hearts. I love you guys. We'll talk soon. See you next week.
I'm breathing. We are here to know the truth for each other. We are here to know the truth for ourselves. We are one. We are some part of the life of spirit in form. We are that. The beloved has made itself known as us. So we are going to stand in the truth of that right now. We're going to say our affirmations right now. They are the truth. They are passionate. They are purposeful. They are in the present tense. And they speak the truth of us. And let's say them. Let's say these words out loud. Stand up at home, wherever you are. Just stand up, ground yourself in the truth of these, and know them as the truth for all of us. You ready? I am committed to being my best self. All of the answers are within me. I live each day with purpose, passion, and powerful action. I love that. We're going to say that third one again because I just love it. I live each day with purpose, passion, and powerful action. And I would add to that positive action as well, right? Positive action as well. So please join me in prayer. Giving great thanks for this day, for everything that it is and how it unfolds, knowing God is right here in the midst of all of this, in the midst of the upheaval and the chaos, knowing that good comes out of this, knowing that Spirit is standing with us, right alongside us, knowing and living through us and as us in the world. I know and accept greater good in the life of each one of us. I know and accept that there is only one life. It is God. It is God's life expressing as us each and every day, each and every moment. I know it is all God. It is all good. And so it is. Thank you. Thanks for being here.